A chapter ends. Hui Prefecture of students, young and gentle, but the wayward dare to dare. At that time, aristocratic families have a considerable size of the mansion, haunted during the day, after another dead man, willing to sell cheap. She added that the price is cheap, they bought live. However, mansion Kongkuo, sparsely populated and around East Hospital Kiosk, shortage of wild Artemisia Ai dense forest, could not also hold for the time being. At night, disturbed family, always yelling ghosts. After 2 months, she died a maid. Soon, she born wife in the evening when kiosk, you have to come back sick. A few days later they died. Family more fear, advised students to move Chi students do not listen. But he was man alone, without a partner, bleak mood, for yourself overcome with grief, when all the maid servants not to him ramble all sorts of weird things, prompting his rage, holding blankets, lie down alone in the pavilion in rare deserted, still lit candles to look at what strange things occur. Such a long time, no abnormal phenomenon, she also so raw asleep. Suddenly someone reached into the inside, repeatedly touch to touch. Chi students woke up, saw that it is a very old maid, curly ears, hair disheveled, extremely obese. Chi students know that she is a ghost, caught her arm bush, laughs and says this pair of countenance, it is difficult to witness. Ashamed of the maid, withdrew his hand trotted away. Soon, a girl from the northwest corner out, looked beautiful and moving, regardless of whether to come to the light, angrily shouted, "Where to, daring scholar, actually in a big sleep here." Chi students got up and said with a smile, "I am the owner of the mansion, waiting to find you the rent." I stood up, naked to catch the girl hurried escape. Chi students went first to the northwest corner, stopped turning back, no way out girl, she sat down on the bed. Chi students approached the girl, look at the next candlelight, simply Marushi Yankson, then slowly took her in his arms. Girl, smiling, said, "Arrogant guy not afraid of ghosts, you will scourge you die Kishanding unlock a line dress." Girl is not very resistant. Later the girl introduced himself, "My name is Jung, nicknamed aside error marry a dissolute man, he was opinionated, heartless cruelty, torture to me unwarranted humiliation, anger makes me depressed, who died in infancy, buried here more than 20 years this is all below the mansion grave." Chi students asked, "Who is that old maid?" A chapter ends, said, "She is a devil, I have waited to live above the living, not the ghost piece in the tomb just now I let her put you off." She asked the students, "Why did she touch to touch the?" A chapter ends with a smile, said, "That maid 30s, did not slept with a man, the situation is very poor, but she was too short, no self-knowledge, who fear, demons be stiff and disgrace get, who are strong, and the devils cannot be infringed has been heard near the bell rung, they dress out of bed, he said if you do not suspicion, I will come again at night." In the evening, chapter A really come to an end, they smell, more joy. Chi-chan said, "My wife died, sentimental mourning difficult to exclude from the heart, can you do for me to provoke her?" A chapter ends, listened more sad, said, "I'm dead for 20 years, who miss me, you're a passionate, ill help, but I heard she has a place to be born, and I do not know whether still in the underworld spent the night." Zhongqi told the students, and the Arab Israeli said, "Your wife is about to be born, your family because of her past lives lost earrings, will have to play the maid hanged to death, this case is not settled, so stay underworld, she also now be subjected to Yayo Wong porch, and guarded, I sent the maid, went bribery, perhaps coming soon." Chi student asked, "Why are you able to freely idle?" A chapter ends, said, "Wrong dead as long as they do not surrender Jin Jian. Yama no effort to intervene, 2 more will do when the old." Sure enough, the maid kiss wife brought to life. Chi students holding his wife's hand, extreme grief, his wife, tears in his eyes, speechless. A chapter ends, bid farewell to go, said the 2 of you can talk long while added common feelings, let us meet again another day at night. Healthcare. Chi wife asked about the pre-existence of cases of maid hanged, his wife said no, get in the way, quickly closed up. They went to snuggle hug, like when his wife was alive, like joy, since it is often the case. 5 days later, His wife suddenly crying and said, tomorrow I'm going to be born in Shandong, potting too long, what to do? Chi students heard this, crying, tears dripping, overcome with grief. A chapter ends of persuasion, said, I have an idea, you can temporarily reunited. Husband and wife have stopped crying, ask any wisdom. A student Chi and please hang 10 burned paper money in the south hall of Apricot, take bribes escort incarnate servants, so he delayed some days, helped Chi Yen and the line, in the evening, before his wife and said, thanks to end the girl's idea, and now we can meet 10 days of Chi students overjoyed, leaving chapter aside would not let her go, bed close, from sunset to dawn, less joy coming to an end. After 7 or 8 days because of the deadline to expire Chi born, the couple crying all night, also the end asking a chapter. A chapter ends, said look at the situation very difficult, but there are ways you can try, but there are 1 million non-cash underworld cannot. Chi students burned paper money in full. A chapter to the end, said happily, let me intercede with the officers escorting incarnate, is difficult to say at first pass, then see money. Just move the heart now so that other students went to vote on behalf of a ghost. Since then, they are no longer left in the day, let Chi health doors and windows closed all day lit candle. And so, after more than a year, chapter A sudden end was sick, dizzy, depressed mood, trance unclear, like seeing a ghost look. Kiss wife stroked chapter aside, said this is a ghost sickness, Chi Chen said. The end the girl was a ghost, the ghost what make her sick, Chi wife said not so after death becomes ghost, ghost death into Nini afraid of ghosts, ghost like a man born Chi Jong wanted to end the Arab-Israeli please witch doctor, Chi wife said, ghost of disease, how can the employer to treat a neighbor lady Wong now, in hell when witch doctor, can go get her, however, many miles from here, my feet weak, cannot walk. Could you burn a paper horse? Yan and Chi born row, Ma gang burn paper, to see the maid holding a black-tail orang horse in the yard reins over to his wife Chi wife blink of an eye disappeared. Before long, kiss wife and a woman to ride a horseback, tied the horse on the pillars. A woman entered the room holding down the end of the chapter fingers diagnosis, and then to sit upright, his head trembling as the state, fell to the ground for a while, jumping up and said, I am a black girl Sampras this condition is very serious, fortunately met with small god, do not light blessings miles, this is karma ghost made a curse, okay, but later recovered, I have to give huge support, 100 pieces of silver, 100 strings of cash, a sumptuous feast, the same cannot be less, Chi wife one by one loudly agreed, the old lady revived and fell to the ground, yelling something to the patient, considered then, after the old lady to go, Chi wife to the door, the paper gave her horse, she was pleased to go, a look into the room chapter end, seemed to gradually clear, the couple was very happy to be good words to soothe, a chapter end suddenly said I'm afraid I cannot close their eyes and then I saw a world beyond the grave, this is the life will shed tears, spent the night, her condition grew heavy, dying, bent body trembling, as if to see what. She pulled Chi with their students lie with his head buried in his arms. Chi students seemed to fear of being caught. Chi born arose, she anxiously exclaimed. And so, after 67 days, the couple do nothing. Chi born this day just to go out after half a day back home, he heard his wife crying. Chi health heart surprised, hurriedly asked the what, the original end girl had died in bed, clothes still, open look, but it is so true bones. Chi extremely raw grief, according to human funeral to bury her next to graves. One night, in a dream his wife whimpered and wept. Chi students woke his wife, asked what crying, his wife replied I just dream girl come to an end, said her husband became the ghost, she does not keep the chastity wrath in hell, grudge, to her life, asked me to her temple. Chi students get up very early, prepared to do so, wife to stop, said salvation ghost you cannot pull its weight, then got up and went out. After a while children, the wife came back and said I've had to invite monks, should first paper money as an expense. Yan and Chi born row, the sun had just fallen, the monks are all here, Copper drum symbols law and human use of the same. From time to time, he said his wife deafening sound, and Chi students cannot hear. Dumb temple, his wife has come to end the Arab-Israeli dream of thanks saying, enmity has been eliminated, I will be born as the daughter of the city god, please tell Chi students. A little afraid of his wife, who lives in the 3 years, the family had just heard considerable period of time to get used to. Chi health absence, the family would announce his family through the window. One night, his wife crying to say to Chi Xing in the past escort incarnate servants, and now he case of bribery fraud leaked, tracing very tight, I'm afraid we cannot long reunited. A few days later, his wife really sick, she said, because love you, I would only wish long dead, do not want to be reborn now about farewell, does the fate dictates it? Chi raw fear asking, his wife said this is not irreversible, Chi student asked, to chastised it. His wife said there will be a slight drag on the crime of punishment but large, small capital offense to steal having no longer move. A closer look, face and body gradually disappeared. Chi students often live alone in shortage booth, hoping to have another contingency, but always uneventful, so people psychological gradually settle down.